Glasshouse Mountains is the destination for local four-wheel drive enthusiasts to go out there and hit the extreme tracks. There's not a destination, there's nowhere to go. There's beautiful scenery, good views, good mountains, but it's all about that serious forward driving. You've got massive ruts, you've got little red, you've got big red, there's whoops everywhere. Every time I've driven through there, you see forward drives with panel damage. These things are beaten up big time. A lot of people even trailer their forward drives there to go epic, crazy off-roading. And we were super surprised when one of our customers wanted to take his brand new F truck there, straight from Big Dog Fields. So Lindsay came to us, he built up a Ram 1500 for himself. He's done a few weekend warrior trips and he realised that with the bigger van on order, he really needed something with more tow capacity. And what better to get than the brand new F truck Platinum from AusMV.
So we brought the car into Big Dog, seen some of his work and really liked it. We threw the Carly E-Venture catalogue at it, so it's got 5.5 inch with the long travel Carly bags. Because we went the AusMV conversion, we can do everything. So we got the torsion sway bar as well, which with a lot of the conversions you can't do. We put some 35 inch on there, some fuels, which had been sorted out. I couldn't see them anywhere and he found them for me.
This is running with 35 inch tyres. One thing that Lindsay didn't like was tyre scrub. So going for a slightly smaller wheel, got better fuel efficiency. It's not going to scrub out on when you're full flexing off road. And then we've gone and added some LED spotlights to the front bar.
So we went out to Glasshouse with Dean because it seemed like a good idea at the time. It was, yeah, it was just a bit of an adventure. Always up for a challenge, so why not?
So this brand new F truck hasn't been off-road at all. We've gone straight from Big Dog builds, hit the tracks the day after, and what better crew to take out than do it in the dirt with Nathan and Jeff. Their backyard is literally the Glasshouse Mountains. They're a father-son duo, they do some epic footage themselves, and they hit the tracks pretty much every single weekend, or whatever opportunity they have.
Oh, I thought we'd start with a little bit of North Powerlight action, just warm things up, see what scrapes, what bumps first, and then maybe head up with some tougher stuff this afternoon from there.
What's this little red I keep hearing about, mate?
Just an easy way on your way to Woolies, really. Nothing too hard. It's out here.
Just to go for the shopping?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm keen to get this thing out here, see these two rigs in action. So Nathan's GQ, I've never seen a vehicle flex as much as this one with the massive Superior Engineering kit in it. This thing was very capable. He went up a wall that I couldn't even walk up. And then Jeff's Wrangler on 37s, 3-inch lift. This thing twin locked. The guys definitely know what they're doing. They're prepared for everything and they're ready for every obstacle in front. Questions all around that people have with these American trucks is, are they good off-road? Where do they fit? What's the limits of them? Most of our customers are building these things up as tow rigs, so that's what they're really good at, we know that. But getting a good brand of suspension in it. This one's got the flexi leafs in the rear as well. And we're gonna get it out on some tracks today and test its limits a little bit more than I'm usually allowed to do in customers' cars, and we'll get into it.
So the tracks out there, you can pick and choose what you want to do. You can go to something simple. You can do stuff that I wouldn't even dream of trying to do, especially in a brand new car. Yeah, it's got everything out there. It's a massive place. You get lost if you want.
So we met up at Big Red Car Park. We hit the tower line track straight away and we wanted to test it out over a few smaller, easier obstacles before we've got into some more of the harder stuff, the bigger ruts really. So every shoot needs a bit of a support crew. What better vehicle to take out than the mighty Troopy? So we loaded up the crew from Big Dog Builds, loaded in the back of the Land Cruiser Troop Carrier, and we were there in tow. So I was a little bit nervous on if we could keep up with anyone on the track, but it was a great day out.
There's a bit of a misconception taking these cars out on the tracks. I think everyone thinks they're too big, but honestly, a lot of the time they're fine, and in some cases they're actually better because you're wider than a typical vehicle and you can straddle the tracks, and yeah, it's not an issue at all.
So we jumped on the Powerline track. We followed that one down to the pine forest. There was a few little bits to really start to set in the leaf springs in the rear. There was a couple little clunks here and there, and what we learnt was there was actually a fuel tank guard that was hitting on the drive shaft, and it just proved on how much things move underneath these trucks once you start flexing them up with a decent lift kit.
Jeff was in a Jeep, Rubicon, Cherokee, pretty sure, and Nathan was in his GQ Patrol, which is, he'd been out there, you can tell. He had all the trick bits, and yeah, they were good. They sort of filled you with confidence because they knew the tracks, they knew where to go, they knew what we were in for.
Turn hard, passenger.
Pretty bloody impressive, mate, just going up that one. What are we up to next?
So this is pretty much the main sort of first lot of the North Powerline. From here, holds long and about the wombat holes. So a really good chance to make sure everything gets its leg stretched.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see how it goes in these wombat holes.
Just want me to find out.
Let's go. We jumped into the wombat holes. Jeff was out the front guiding Lindsay on these ruts, and definitely the longer wheelbase and such a big truck was a bit different to what he'd normally be used to being in front of.
Don't fight it. Go passenger. You're way away from it. Yep, nice and slow, don't hit the brakes. There it is.
Because we were going down this one track, and yeah, Jeff was sort of guiding me one way, and I wanted to go this way, and Jeff's like, no, go this way, you'll be right. And yeah.
Just dip into the tyre, go back slightly.
And that was the start of a little bit of fun ahead. So the Jeep only weighing 2 tonne, the F truck weighing probably 3.5 tonne. We had to get it out of the obstacle. We may have forgotten the worn winch for the F truck.
Unreal.
So the Jeep got into position. He anchored himself to a decent tree up on the top of the hill, and we had to really carefully execute the recovery for the F truck without damaging it against the sidewall, which was just etching on closer and closer.
You winched anything this big?
Not this big. Normally everything pulls me down the hill, so we'll see.
So with the debeading of the rim, it was literally the tyre valve, we believe, that hit the wall rather than low air pressure. But the weight of these trucks, it was one thing that we spoke about while we were there. I think we were running about 17 PSI. All of the weight of this heavy vehicle was on that one tyre, and it was really just, it didn't take much for it to let go. Once it let go, we definitely knew about it.
Took a while to work out the jacking situation, the 5.5 inch lift, you know, yeah, there's timber and jacks and all sorts of stuff going on.
Mate, how you feeling?
Better now.
We've got a tyre on.
Good as new. We'll get it next time.
Are we going again? So Glasshouse is notorious for scratching panels, dinting doors, and even worse. And we were lucky to escape with just a minor little scratch on the front bumper on this one. Luckily, Lindsay had it PPF wrapped, so I was able to fix this one up pretty easily. And I say that for the position that the truck was in, getting away with only a small scratch like this was a win. So the next section after this towards Tower Hill has a few different lines you can choose. There's some serious big holes in there, and the wide wheelbase of the F truck actually came into play, and we were able to navigate on top of these lines. There was a big distance in between. The truck's massively off the ground, and I could have walked straight underneath the vehicle where it was driving, which was pretty impressive. But having the wider wheelbase, we're able to choose the right line and get to the top of this one quite easily.
Yeah, so some of the sketchiest looking bits, like the wide wheelbase, you just straddle it. Like it looks like you're going to fall into a hole and you just ride straight over the top of it. They're perfect, yeah, really good for that. So the main reason I wanted to go out there was to get a feel for the vehicle, and so in the future when I'm on a track, I know this is going to work. I can go down this track with confidence, so going out there really helped with that. Yeah, I'm really confident with the vehicle now.
As we were approaching Tower Hill, the sun was setting, so getting up on top, I'm sure Lindsay's emotions throughout the day were all over the shop. He was quite nervous at the start, getting into the precarious position, and then gaining a bit of confidence after we swapped that tyre out, tackling the next few obstacles. Getting up to the top of the hill was really a bit of a reflection moment where we can appreciate what this vehicle just went through, how beautiful Glasshouse Mountains is. Get out on these tracks is only 20 minutes up the road from here at Big Dog Builds. We'll see what the next brave customer is. So massive thanks for Nathan and Jeff for coming out, being the tour guides for us, getting us out of that precarious position. Didn't maybe get us into the precarious position in the first place, but the adventure wouldn't have been the same without you guys. But massive thanks to Lindsay for bringing this brand new F truck out, testing its capabilities and really showing what these things can do. It's one thing to build these trucks inside the workshop, see them drive out on the bitumen, but getting them off-road, getting the customers off, getting them confident in their vehicle and what they're capable of doing was really, really cool to see. I think the whole team was pretty impressed with the efforts that they'd put in from the mechanical side of things, the lights on the front once it did hit dark time, and really seeing how these trucks can perform. The customers being happy with the build was the biggest thing. And yeah, good looking truck, capable off-road, ready to hit the tracks. That's what we're all about here at Big Dog Build.